There are certain things the mind cannot comprehend. People fall into the same routines of thinking day after day. Toss an apple and it falls to the ground. Pick a flower and it withers. Fall asleep in your bed and wake there the next morning. But this was like dropping an apple and having it fall toward the sun. Cora Mason dug her hands against her temples to steady the churning sea between her ears. She'd woken in a foggy daze minutes ago, or maybe it was hours, in what seemed to be an endless desert. Her bedroom windows were now rust-red dunes rising in 100-foot swells. Her ceiling was a cloudless sky. Her bedside lamp was a blazing sun searing her skin. Wherever she was, it definitely wasn't Virginia. And it wasn't like any desert she'd ever heard of. This wasn't cacti and thirsty clumps of dry grass. This was an impossibly vast smear of red as far as she could see. Was she dreaming? In dreams, her mouth never felt this dry. When her father had first been elected senator, his security detail had trained Cora and her brother Charlie in what to do in the event of a kidnapping. Stay in one place, don't fight back, wait for help. But that had been a decade ago. She'd just barely started kindergarten. Did the same logic apply to a 16-year-old? There were no footsteps in the sand, no tire tracks, no indication of how she'd even gotten there. A starburst of pain streaked through her head. She hissed, pressing her temples harder. Only moments ago she'd been in a car with Charlie, her down-lined parka pulled tight against the cold, cranking the heat as they drove to a ski resort to meet their parents. She'd had her feet on the dash, scrawling lyrics in a notebook. "What do you think of this line?" she had asked. "A stranger in my own life, a ghost behind my smile, not at home in paradise, not at home in hell." Charlie had grinned as he took a left into the resort. "Not bad," he'd said, "but a senator's daughter can't sing songs about hell." Now, surrounded by sand, Cora felt panic clawing up her throat. She was supposed to be in that Jeep. She'd waited nearly 2 years for this, the 4 of them together as a family. No more custody battles, no politics and reporters, just winter in Virginia, parkas and snow, her parents waiting with hot chocolate, not a couple anymore, but not bitter enemies either. She and Charlie had been close enough to see the resort over the next rise. Were her parents there, waiting, wondering how she'd vanished? Were they safe? The breeze stung her eyes, carrying a strange smell, granite and ozone. As she scraped her tongue with her teeth, she could taste the smell on the back of her throat. It triggered another memory, a dream, hazy images of a man's handsome face, bronzed skin, heavy brows, closed eyes, that danced in the back of her mind like a will-o'-the-wisp. The dream beckoned her, but the more she reached for it, the farther away it floated, always frustratingly out of reach. Was he someone real? Or had she been unconscious for so long that she dreamed of an angel? Or, am I dead? She hugged her legs close. Dead people didn't sweat as much as she was. She was alive. She just had to figure out where. Stay in one place, the security guard had taught her. Wait for help. But if she stayed, she'd die of thirst or sunburn. She hugged her legs harder, fighting the urge to panic, and remembered the advice her mother had given her when things got too overwhelming. Count backward. 10, 9, 8.